10 commands, 5 categories, all built around one thing, getting more out of every Claude Code session. Context. You know that moment where Claude starts mixing up files from earlier, or forgetting something you told it 30 minutes ago? Context is how you actually see why. It renders as a colored grid, broken down by category, system prompt, tools, memory files, your actual conversation, so you know exactly what's eating your space. Here's the part that surprises people. A chunk of your context is already gone before you type your first message. System prompt, tool definitions, memory files, all loaded automatically at startup. How much depends entirely on your setup, though. With nothing extra connected, that starting point is usually somewhere around 10 to 15%. But the moment you've got MCP servers connected, that number climbs fast. It's common to see 30-40% gone before you said a word, just from tool definitions sitting there whether you use them or not. And if one server is the one eating most of that space, context will actually tell you which one. So you can turn off just that server instead of clearing the whole session over it. Insights. Insights pulls up your last 30 days in Claude Code and shows you what's actually been slowing you down, and it's based on how you specifically work, not some list everyone gets. What makes it worth using is what happens after it finds a problem. It doesn't stop at pointing it out. If you told Claude the same thing 5 different times, leave the imports alone, keep UI changes small, it picks up on that and writes you an actual rule you can drop straight into your Claude.md. From there, you're not repeating yourself in every session. The instruction just lives there permanently. Schedule. This sets up a task that runs completely on its own in the cloud. Your laptop can be off and it still fires. Good for daily summaries, recurring reports, anything you'd otherwise have to remember to run yourself. A few things to know before you build one. The shortest interval you can set is 1 hour, so this isn't for anything that needs to run every few minutes. And how many runs you get per day depends on your plan too. Loop. This one only works in the terminal version of Claude Code. You set an interval. It repeats the task at that interval, and the moment you close the window, it stops. First, loops work in whole minutes only. Every 30 seconds quietly becomes every minute. Second, there's a cap of 50 per session. If Claude won't start a new loop, you've probably got old ones running that you forgot to cancel. Advisor. When Claude runs into something that actually needs stronger judgment, a messy decision, a bug, and it can't seem to fix after a few tries, it can call in a stronger model for that one moment, then go right back to what it was doing. The idea here is pretty simple. Run a cheaper model for the routine work and let the stronger one step in only for the moments that actually need it. Anthropic's own numbers back this up too. That combination typically costs less than running the stronger model the entire time. And switching it on or off mid-session doesn't slow anything down or add extra cost the way changing your actual model does. It just plugs in when needed and steps back out. Plug in, marketplace, add. Instead of building a skill from scratch every time you need one, this installs a set that already exists, built and tested by someone else. One command, and you got a whole toolkit ready to go. Caveman. Quick flag before this one. It's not an official Anthropic command. It's a popular open source skill you install on top, separate from anything Claude ships with. What it does is strip the filler out of Claude's responses. No great question, no long wind-up, no let me know if you'd like me to adjust anything at the end, just the answer. The number people quote is a 65 to 75% cut in output tokens, and that part's genuinely measured and real. But here's what that number leaves out. It only trims what Claude sends back to you. Everything it reads in first, the files, the conversation, all the thinking it does before it answers, stays exactly the same size. And responses are usually a small slice of what a session actually costs. Most of your tokens come from file reads and conversation history, not the reply itself. Once you look at a whole session, instead of one response, the real savings tend to land closer to 4 to 10%. Still genuinely useful, just not the number people expect going in. Clear. Clear wipes your conversation clean. It doesn't touch your actual code, only the conversation gets wiped. Your work stays exactly as it was. By the way lets you ask it without stopping what it's doing, you get your answer, and the original task keeps running. Resume. This picks up an old session exactly where you left it. Chat history, tool results, code changes, all of it. Doesn't matter if it's been a day or a week. 2 small things that make this easier to use. Naming your sessions makes them much easier to find later. You can jump straight to one instead of scrolling through a list and try and remember which was which. And by default, it only searches your current project. But you can widen that to your whole machine if you're not sure where a conversation actually lives.